Let's talk about money habits, the little things you do on repeat that either move you forward or keep you quietly stuck. Over the years, I've seen the same patterns show up again and again, not because people are lazy or careless, but because most of us were never really taught how to build a simple system that works in real life. If you've ever looked at your bank balance and thought, I worked too hard for this to be so tight, you're not alone. The good news is that small changes, done consistently, can make a big difference over time. Think of this as a gentle reset. No judgment, just practical ideas you can start trying today. Let's start with a habit a lot of people fall into without realizing it: paying yourself last. The paycheck lands, the bills go out, subscriptions renew, a few plans happen, and then you promise you'll save whatever is left. But by the end of the month, there usually isn't much left. One mindset flip can help. Pay yourself first. Pick a percentage that feels realistic. Maybe 10% to begin, and move it automatically to a separate account the moment you get paid. Treat that transfer like a bill to your future self. When you automate the step, you remove willpower from the equation, and your lifestyle adjusts around what remains. It's not about perfection. It's about building a rhythm where saving is the default and spending becomes intentional rather than accidental. Now let's talk about debt, specifically high-interest revolving debt. Debt can be a tool, but balances that carry over at steep interest rates can quietly eat your progress. Small swipes feel harmless in the moment, but interest can offset any points or perks if the balance isn't paid in full. If you're dealing with balances, list them out. Choose a payoff method that matches your personality and start. Some people like the avalanche approach, focusing on the highest interest rate first to reduce the total cost fastest. Others prefer the snowball approach, clearing the smallest balance first to get early wins and momentum. Both can work. The best choice is the one you'll stick with. It may also help to call providers and politely ask about rate reductions, to pause or cancel a few non-essential subscriptions, and to set a simple spending rule for yourself like, if I wouldn't be comfortable paying cash for this by the next statement, I'll wait. This isn't punishment. It's clearing the runway so your future cash flow is yours again. Another quiet habit that can keep people stuck is skipping the buffer. Life throws surprises, car repairs, medical co-pays, the appliance that dies when you least expect it. Without an emergency fund, a small surprise can push you into new debt or force you to interrupt your long-term plans. A simple target helps. If you're only responsible for yourself, 3 months of essential expenses is a common starting point. If others depend on your income, 6 to 9 months can feel more comfortable. Keep this money somewhere easy to access but separate from your day-to-day spending. Labeling the account emergency fund sounds cheesy, but it really does reduce the temptation to touch it for non-emergencies. Seed it with your pay-yourself-first transfer and add any small windfalls you get during the year. Every dollar in that fund buys you calm. It also gives you the confidence to stay invested when markets wobble because you're not depending on your investments to cover short-term bumps. Here's another habit that can stall progress: not knowing your numbers. I'm not talking about memorizing every line item. I'm talking about clarity. What actually comes in each month after tax? What it costs to live your real life? Where the leaks are? Lifestyle inflation is sneaky. You get a raise and the default is to upgrade a few things. Then the margin you thought you'd gain disappears. A simple monthly snapshot changes the game. Write down your income, split expenses into essentials and non-essentials, and assign a job to every dollar, even if that job is fun. Then schedule a 10-minute weekly money check-in. Look at the last few days, pay any small bills, adjust if you need to, and move on. When the numbers are visible, you don't have to rely on wishful thinking. You can make small, accurate changes that add up. Let's talk about spending and the idea of expensive default hobbies. Everyone needs joy. Everyone needs rest. The question is whether your go-to habits always require a purchase. If every recharge moment equals shopping, constant takeout, or frequent upgrades, your budget never gets a break. Try experimenting with a short cooling-off period before non-essential buys. Create a few sinking funds for bigger wants so you save towards them in advance. And build a short list of low-cost activities you actually enjoy: walks, library visits, home cooking nights, board games, creative hobbies, time with friends in the park. It's not about cutting everything. It's about redesigning how you relax so your peace of mind isn't dependent on swiping a card. Here's a belief that can quietly keep you from progress: thinking saving alone is enough. Saving matters. It gives you stability and options, but it has a ceiling. You can only cut so much. Earning, on the other hand, has more room to grow. The people who build momentum often work both sides of the equation. They simplify fixed costs and automate savings, yes, and they also nudge their income forward. That could mean improving a skill that's in demand, asking for a raise with clear evidence, taking on higher value projects, or starting a modest side income that fits their capacity and values. Even small increases when directed consistently to your plan can fund investments without squeezing your lifestyle. The point isn't to grind endlessly, the point is to build margin, room in your budget that you can redirect toward what matters most. Taxes are another area where knowledge helps. Everyone pays taxes, and that money funds important things. At the same time, many people overpay simply because they're not aware of the legitimate options in their region. Get curious about the rules where you live. Learn how tax-advantaged accounts work in your country, how employer contributions to retirement plans function, and what record-keeping is required if you operate as a business. If you donate to causes you care about, look up what documentation your region requires. If any of this feels confusing, consider speaking with a licensed professional who understands local regulations. The aim is legality and clarity. When you understand the rules, you can make choices that align with your goals and values. Let's address a big one: waiting too long to invest. Once your emergency fund is set and any high-interest debt is controlled, many people choose to start investing so their money has a chance to keep up with inflation and potentially grow over time. You don't need to predict the market. Instead, focus on a simple plan you can stick with. A lot of beginners use broad, low-cost funds because they provide wide diversification and typically keep fees lower than many alternatives. Fees matter because, over the years, even small costs can add up and reduce your net results. One way people handle the emotional side is to set up a small, regular contribution at a schedule they can maintain, weekly, monthly, whatever fits, and review on a timetable rather than reacting to headlines. The goal is not to win every week. The goal is to stay in long enough for time and compounding to do more of the work. Emotions deserve their own chapter because they influence everything. Fear can stop you from starting. Hype can pull you into trends you don't really understand. Panic can push you to sell at the worst possible moment. Overconfidence can tempt you into risks that don't match your situation. The antidote is structure. Your emergency fund creates space so you're not forced into emotional choices. A simple written plan tells you what you'll do before the noise starts. If you want to experiment, keep that portion small and separate from your core approach so a lesson doesn't derail your long-term progress. Long-term investors aren't fearless. They're consistent. They rely on habits and systems so they don't need to be brave every day. Let's put this into a simple blueprint you can try right away. Step 1. Choose a savings percentage and automate it to a separate account on payday. Step 2. If you have high-interest card balances, pick an approach, avalanche or snowball, and make your first payment today, even if it's small. Step 3. Set up or fund your emergency account and write your target number where you can see it. Step 4. Track your spending for the next 30 days and book a weekly 10-minute check-in on your calendar. Step 5. Write a short list of low-cost ways you actually enjoy spending time and plan one for this week. Step 6. Identify one skill that could nudge your income and take one step toward it. Practice, a course, a conversation with your manager, a small project. Step 7. Read the official guidance for tax-advantaged accounts in your region and note any eligibility you may have. Step 8. Choose a simple, diversified approach for investing and set a contribution you can maintain. Step 9. Write a one-sentence rule for market swings so you decide in calm, not in panic. You don't need to do everything at once. Pick one, maybe 2 steps, and start there. Give yourself permission to learn in public. You'll make small mistakes. Everyone does. What matters most is that you keep moving. Over time, the new habits become easier. Your cash flow steadies. The debt goes down. The buffer grows. The investments hum quietly in the background while you focus on the rest of your life. That's the part we often forget. The point of money is not to obsess over money, it's to support a life you're proud to live. A quick word on expectations. There are no guaranteed outcomes here, and past results don't predict the future. Markets move. Jobs change. Life happens. That's why we build a foundation, use simple rules, and adjust when needed. If you keep your plan realistic and give it time, the compounding of better habits can be just as powerful as the compounding of returns. Tiny decisions you make this month can ripple out for years. That's not hype. That's how momentum works. If you've listened this far, you've already done something most people never do. You've given your money a moment of focused attention. That alone is valuable. Now turn that attention into one action today. Automate one transfer. Cancel one forgotten subscription. Start an emergency fund deposit. Send one email to learn about a tax-advantaged account. Watch one tutorial on a skill that might raise your income. Make the next right move, then the next. Keep it simple. Keep it steady. Remember, this is your journey, your numbers, your goals, your timeline. You don't need to copy anyone else's life. You just need a plan that fits yours. Pay yourself first so something always flows toward your future. Clear costly debt so your income belongs to you. Build that buffer so surprises don't become crises. Know your numbers so decisions are honest, not hopeful. Spend on what you value and design rest that doesn't drain you. Grow both engines, save smarter and, where possible, earn a little more. Understand the legal options in your region so more of your hard work stays with you. Invest with a simple approach you can live with. And protect the plan from your own emotions by using rules instead of reactions. If you show up for yourself in these small ways, most days, the results may not look dramatic week to week, but month by month, year by year, the direction changes. One day, you'll notice you feel lighter. Choices open up. You trust yourself with money, and that feeling, calm, capable, in control, is worth every small step you take today. Thanks for being here. If this helped, keep learning, keep experimenting, and keep going. Educational content only, not advice, but hopefully the spark you needed to build a system that fits your life.